Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a quick overview on this Miguron knife. Came in this package. I ordered this from Miguron Knives directly on their website. It was $189 plus blah blah blah. I probably paid around $200. I can't be 100% sure. Could have been $189 even. And I used the money from YouTube ad money for this. So I figured it was like a knife I could get, review, and then give away to you guys, right? Well, I had some issues with it. And I asked for a return already. And I'm working that out with them. The guy over there, Sam Lau, I think is his name. He's also the designer of this. They're also an OEM. They advertise that. He told me they're having issues with PayPal right now. Their account's frozen, so he can't give me a refund right now. He said I could return it to his friend, and then I would get the refund. And, whatever. I was like, yeah, I just prefer to get the refund once I ship it. And then that's when he told me about PayPal, and I was like, okay. And I kind of was like, well, just ship me another one, and I'll sell that or something. Maybe that'll help. It's cheaper for him, and I don't know. But then I found out some things, so here we go. Let me get into this. This is the Pagos. There's no serial number. Just says serial no. I think it's supposed to be number, but he never wrote it. M390, carbon fiber titanium, Sam Lau, 6/29/21 is when he signed the card. And here's your Miguron information, okay? That goes in this box, good regular packaging. There's some Instagram, Gmail, website for you, okay? And the reason I picked this up was I've seen it on Instagram and YouTube a few times now. So Jared from Neve Knives had one. Casey from Knives Fast reviewed one. I've seen a few others. And I've definitely seen it on Instagram by a bunch of people saying how good it is. And I was like, this would be an interesting knife to just drop the $200 on and give away or whatever once I'm done. I'm not promising that. I'm just saying that was kind of like my plan. So, Miguron Knives zip pouch. Pretty standard affair. I like the fuzz in here. I did record an unboxing, but I had these issues, and I just felt like that video was too long and me dragging on about shit. You know how I am. This does say QC passed right here on the sticker. This is made in China. Miguron Knives is out of China. They are an OEM. Again, this is one of their like 2 models they make in-house. And yeah, so I did the unboxing, and first off, what happened was I tried testing the edge. Now, I have stropped this since to try to help it, and if I catch it just right, it will kind of tear through some stuff, but like it's just not sharp. Certain areas, like I said, if I catch it right, it'll cut. It's not like deathly dull, but like it's pretty bad. And I stropped it after realizing I could not cut anything in the unboxing. So that is the first thing. I really, when I buy a knife, especially a knife for more than, I don't know, $20, I expect it to have an edge on it that cuts paper, even if that edge lasts for 2 seconds, like on 8CR, right? I expect it to cut paper easily. I don't think that's too much to ask, The second thing I noticed in the unboxing was the clip. So I like the look of the clip and everything, but it moves back and forth. So what I found out is the cutout, there's a cutout that's super small into the scale for the clip. And that cutout is, I guess, not shaped properly. It's not thin enough to hold the clip frame. So it has room to wiggle back and forth like this. Now, I heard Casey say in his review, or maybe just talking to him, that his was loose and then he tightened it and then it was fine, right? But then a couple days later he realized it was loose again. And I don't think it ever was actually tight. I think that it was to a point where, like, right now I have to use a little bit of force to move that. And he probably wasn't sitting here wrenching on it because it wasn't his knife and he's not going to go ham, right? But I have tightened the absolute living piss out of this knife, or this this clip. It's a T6, so you got to be careful here. But just to demonstrate, you can hear it getting tighter, too tight almost. Ah, shit. See, I think that was my bit. Yeah, I think this bit is fucked now. So, I've already swapped 2 bits. I think the hardware is fine. It's just chewing up the bits. Maybe the screw finally went. But I have tightened the absolute piss out of this. And it just, still, no matter what you do, it moves. All right? So, that happened. And, you know, yeah, whatever. It might not fall off. But, like, again, for $200, I expect a clip to stay still. Like, all they needed to do was use another screw right here. They just needed to mount another screw in. I don't know why they didn't. And I think it has something to do with problem C. So, I get through that unboxing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to post this video because I just feel bad. And it was just so long and whatever, right? So then afterwards, or the next day, which was today, I took it apart. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can maybe fix it. Maybe the barrel in there is bad and I can figure something out and replace whatever. So I just took it apart. It came apart real easy. I mean, you just take this screw out, or this screw, whatever, and the pivot. Yeah, it was this one and the pivot. And then it just came right apart, no problem. But do you see any screws holding that inlay in? So turns out it's glued in. So I took the knife apart, and while I was trying to help the clip, I took this screw out. And I took that screw out, and the inlay just fell out. This inlay fell out. And basically, it's glued in there, and the glue didn't hold. So I don't know if I can demonstrate because this. Okay, so it was the screw that finally gave in. I've been working on this thing all day, guys, so yeah, I might have stripped that screw after all of that. So anyway, let me see if I can demonstrate, because it would make sense, wouldn't it? I tried to get it back in there, so maybe it finally took again. I don't know if you hear that pin as well. Get to that. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this inlay just fell out when I took that screw out the one time. I put a little bit of glue in there. I had a little bit of super glue I had in there, so maybe that's what was just holding it on. But look at this. This is how it looked. This is not what I did. Okay, this is how this is put together and sent to you. Okay, so with that screw in there, I guess it's holding, right? Is that the end of the world? I don't know. I spent $190 on this. I just don't expect an inlay to fall out and have all this glue under it. It should be glued in, right? And you should expect this to be able to take this screw out, right? So I don't know how well this is going to hold up over on this end. You know, at some point, is it going to start flapping and stuff? I don't know. All right, then there's this. Wow, look at that, it's gone. Well, I just fixed problem D. There was a rattle, and there's a pin that's in here, and I'm thinking that pin just wasn't, seated right. So maybe that was just me putting it back together, and it didn't seat right. So we just fixed that. No worries, right? Anyway, all of those things were just enough for me to be like, this is not worth the money I spent on it. And it's not worth me. I'm not going to give this to one of you guys. I would feel bad doing that. Now, I do want to get into the things I do like about this knife, okay? The detent is very good. I think they nailed the detent on this knife. You can see it there. Sucks it in. Very well done, right? You have a front flipper, and then you also have the thumb studs, which you can reverse flick like that. Boom. Right-handed, thumb flick, reverse flick, bang, right? The action, the closing. This is on their stock cage bearings. I did put a little KPL and everything in here, but it was really good before too. The action on this thing is excellent. It really is. One thing I didn't like so much about the design of the deployment methods, I guess, is the way the front flipper is. You end up getting smacked with thumb studs as you close it. So, like, as I go all the way through the front flip, that thumb stud smacks into my thumb. And a lot of times I've had it where it doesn't quite lock up, or it's like at the verge of not locking up because my thumb is getting caught there. And I don't know if that's a matter of me just like, you got to get your thumb out of there, dude, but like, or my hands are too big or something. But that feels kind of weird. And then the thumb studs themselves are just a little too smooth. Like, I've just kind of like slipped over them before, right? Like trying to flick it because they're a little smooth. It's not bad or anything, but those are just a couple other nitpicks. This bead blast, I think they call it a sand wash, is really nicely done. I like the fuller up here. It would be nice if you could use it to like flick somehow, but I can't get in there. But it still looks cool aesthetically. The knife overall looks gorgeous. That was one of the main reasons I went for it, was because I just thought it looked really nice. This black carbon fiber is really nice. Again, it's that thin piece that's glued in, which sucks, but you know, it is what it is. This side is obviously glued in as well. A couple pieces maybe, or is that one? Yeah, it's one full piece there that kind of bends around. Really nice relief cuts right here. I thought the clip worked well. In pocket coming out, I thought it was a solid clip. The ramp's not bad. I think obviously the issue with this is a big deal. That's a killer for me. Left-handed, it works. Like, it's kind of disappointing that these other things happen because I really want to like this knife. Look at the micro milling all over the titanium. I mean, that's incredible work for $189. So they have some stuff working for them here, right? M390 in titanium. There's your M390 marking. A really nice pivot design with that Miguron logo. I like the ano. They do have ones with like blue and red in the carbon fiber, which I thought looked cheap, so I didn't go for those. Man, the action is so good. It's nice and thin. I mean, not too thin, but it's not thick by any means. It's not a big knife. I think it's like 3 1/4 inches. So here is a Malibu to compare it to. So it's a smaller knife, but it's not like a small knife. It's basically Malibu sized, right? Paramilitary 3. There you go. Para 3 is a little bit smaller. So, I mean, it's a great size, guys. It really is. Ergonomics on this thing. I really like the ergos. Like right here, it's really your only grip, but it fits my hand literally perfectly. And then you could do this if you want, but it's not really long enough up here to choke up like that, but you could do it. But I would just live back here if the blade were sharp. So, you know, those are my big gripes. Centering is almost good. This is how it was when I got it. It's just back to where it was. Almost centered. So, you know, if you take all those things and put them together, you just don't have a $190 knife here. I think materials-wise and machining-wise, yes, 100% you do. This is great for that price. But you have to sharpen the blade fully. You have to have a clip that stays put. The inlay, you know, it bothers me, but I'm sure some people wouldn't mind that it's glued in. And the fact that it fell out without me, like, doing anything, I just took a screw out. And it's not supposed to come out when you take the screw out. You saw the glue under there, all right? So I don't want to hear that shit. Such good action, man. It's addicting. I don't really like the front flipper because of the stud thing. But I don't care because I really like how the thumb studs shoot it out. I like the detent. I like that it works lefty. You don't necessarily have to be off the lock bar. It does put a little pressure on it, makes that detent feel a little stronger. But you can easily do it both left and right-handed. And it's sexy as hell, you know? So, you know, there's a lot of good and, you know, unfortunately a decent amount of bad here. And I wasn't even going to review it, to be honest. I was just going to let the return happen, see how that process goes. And I may wait to post this until I hear back again. But I kept seeing reviews going up. And they were all really, really positive. And I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer. I know a lot of people say I'm negative. I just speak my mind and I say my honest opinion on things, and I'm not afraid to do that. I spent my money on this. Now, granted, I said I used ad money, but that money just goes into my account, and I'm just saying I used it, right? Like, I still spent it out of my bank account. I spent basically $200 on this knife. This was not given to me by Miguron. It wasn't a loaner from anybody, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I have plenty of loaners, and I get free stuff. But I feel like there's just a different aspect to a knife review when you have spent the money on it. It's hard to separate yourself sometimes. If you get a knife for free, little things can be let go because you're like, well, it's still good, right? But had I spent $200 on it and the clip wiggled and the inlay fell out, and it wasn't sharp, well, would I be pissed? Hell yeah, I'd be pissed. And I was. So that's kind of my reasoning for it in case anybody, is thinking like, damn, dude. So yeah, that's it. Kind of reminds me of how the Tor knife came. Almost like it was premature. Like they rushed these out of the factory to make sure they got them in people's hands or something. I don't know why they would do that. I know they're trying to sell their OEM side of things, which is great. But if I was having a knife made right now, I don't know if I would be interested in using these guys just based on those QC type issues. I mean, this had a sticker on it that said QC passed. I mean, all you had to do was wiggle the clip twice and you knew it. They know this clip is off. There's no way they don't know that every one of them has it. Every one of them, all three of the ones I've seen, Casey, Neves, and this one, they all have that clip issue. At least as far as I know, talking to them. I don't want to put words in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? You can always check with them. But I believe they all have that issue. So they know this clip is not mounted properly, not seated properly. That's an issue. I've heard sharpening issues from other people. That's an issue. The inlay falling out. Haven't heard that from anybody else, but it was my experience. I showed it to you. So, it is what it is. I don't want to sit here and bash the company or the guy. Guy seems really nice. Company seems really nice. I like a lot about this. So they have a lot of potential. Again, that's why it reminds me of the Tor thing. Like, there's a lot I like, and there's a lot of potential there to make things better. And you know what? Maybe they're going to just chalk it up and be like, this guy's an asshole. We don't need to listen to him. Or everybody else says it's perfect. And maybe they do. Maybe this is a one-off just problem knife, right? So I'm just rambling at this point. But that was my experience with the Miguron Pagos, sorry. I apologize to Casey and Neves for throwing you out there or under the bus or whatever. They enjoyed the knife thoroughly. I can tell you that. They both told me they enjoyed the knife thoroughly. So that was their experience. And this was mine. And that's really it. So, man, I really like the action on this thing. I gotta say. They nailed the detent. It's so frustrating. So, anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.